Mic check. This is Charles right here. Well, cheers, man.
Cheers. Hey.
Shit. Up in the crib.
Thanks for coming through. So what's up? You trying to start this podcast?
Well, me and my brother are trying to do something, man. I mean, trying to hone that thing down might be a little difficult. We're so sporadic. We're out in outer space with our conversations. I think we'll just, if it's social media or something that happens outside regularly, you just see a neighbor or somebody, member of the community, but just something will just trigger some emotion, and then me and him can just fall into a deep.
So is it going to be in person type or like?
Yeah, this is solid, man. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just with Chaz, man, all the stuff that's been happening in our lives lately, and I'm older now, man. Shit.
Aren't we all?
Shit, I just hit that Jackie Robinson at 42, dog, and I don't know, man. Something just, it triggered, bro. Like a lot of shit just happening in the community. I feel like there's a definite calling to awaken just the youth, bro. There's a definite yearning for these kids. I mean, you saw what happened in town the other day. Kids chasing people with machetes. You know what I mean?
You mean here?
Yeah,
in Hawaii?
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yes, the other day, it was a group of kids, had knives swinging, just big scraps, man. It just feels like a lot of our community here at home anyway is just lost. And then whenever I tap back in San Diego, it's that, if not worse. You know what I'm saying? So
That's interesting, man. So your brother right now is in San Diego.
yeah, my baby brother Chaz was in San Diego for sure.
You're out here in Hawaii.
I'm here. So we have the same father, split parents, right? Split moms. So I came back out here and shit. Well, I was raised in Mililani, and then I left Mililani when I was 9, and then I was in San Diego, and then I came back, 2000, right? 2000, and then I've been here ever since. So that's when I ran into y'all. You brothers were all in the backpack scene, you know, Kay and all of them. That's yeah.
You know what I'm interested in? Now we're in our mid-age, right?
Yeah.
And me in my 30s, I guess you 40s. But values changed. Also, the vision changed, the mission changed, right?
Yeah.
And so you're looking at podcasts as a way to sort of, it sounds like it's deeper than just media at this point.
Yeah, man. I guess too, you know, we saw the internet come. It was at that age, and as soon as I saw social media, like MySpace, Black Planet, Asian Avenue, all these things, right?
Yeah.
I really didn't see the need back then. I was still like a pager kid, super analog. You know what I mean? But I think I was talking to Zach, and we were just having a conversation one time, and he was just like, you know, this is just how these kids are. You know what I mean? My kids don't know what a dial tone sounds like. You know what I mean? It's these types of things that I have to remember as there's this bridge or this generational thing going on. So for me, the podcasting is more of a release. I know there's all types of media platforms, but just being able to vocalize that, I mean, that's my brother's definitely, I think, would be better at this, I guess. It's more of his shtick. However, I do like to just chop it up with him, you know what I mean, in this space, which feels comfortable. Yeah, man, I mean, that's the overall vision. I think everything in between right now is just a step. So I try not to get too attached to, like, you know, people get caught up in if you go through college and you say you don't finish college or something happens outside of your plan, right? You have kids. And for people that had goals, sometimes kids just shatters all that. You don't know what to do. You know
yeah,
I mean?
and they have that, they're facing that kind of like guilt where they're like, I don't want to blame my children as the reason why I didn't X, Y, Z.
Right. Or you get caught up in the past, like you capped, like you lived your best life, and all of a sudden you have this avatar now, and that person died, and you don't even know how to fill this position as parent / older person, because time's not going to stop for anybody. I'm uncle, dog. That's just what it is. Uncle Charlie is here. You can't fight it. You know what I mean? And so just taking on that responsibility, it's your kuleana. You know what I mean? You got to handle that.
You know what? On that point where I'm a young parent, if you will, like I think my first child's birthday is kind of like my birthday as a parent as well.
Right.
So it's like I'm as old as she is, but as a parent, I mean, of course, it starts earlier than that.
Right.
And I think a lot of my teaching experience in Japan helped me with that. That built a huge, like, strong foundation. We'll jump into the Japan thing with your boy.
Yes, I think
but,
we will. I need some information on that for sure.
When you're a young parent and you're looking around, every child's different. And so no matter how much anecdotal stories you pile up in your whole knapsack, it never prepares you for what your child says or your child needs. And so you feel like you're always putting out these fires.
Absolutely, man. I think, you know, I think I was 25 when I had Ezra, and I have 5 now, and that's including Jada, which we kind of Brady bunched it, you know, add water, and now we have this huge, right? So Allah brought in 1, I brought in 2, and then we made 2, so we have 5. And the age gap, environmental aspects of that, man. Just what they're up in, what they were up against, what these kids saw, and then now you have them as home. Sometimes they go back and forth. So there's a lot of different just aspects, and narratives, if you will, that they see. So as a parent, I think we learn. At first, you would think, if I try to use my parents as an example for how I should father, I don't think it always works, man. I think there's some core values that you'll bring, that my father has taught him. And there's some things I would never do that my father did to me. You know what I mean?
That you don't even know your father did.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Are we all, right?
Yeah. It's a great thing, man. I love it. Because, once I break down and realize that they're watching me that hard, it's a second opportunity to do something greater in my life. And I think that's what actually birthed these other ideas. When I see them, they're going out into this world. I'm wise enough to understand that not everybody has the same household as us. You don't. But I know my boys. I know you. I know how, obviously I don't know the privacy parts of it, but I know by the way that your daughters are. You know what I mean? And so when I hear somebody compliment my children, that lets me know I'm doing a good job as a father, at least.
You're damn right. I know it's... I mean, you, like, Ezra's 18, right?
He's about to hit it. Yeah.
He's about to hit 18. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, technically you could, like, check out.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 18, that's kind of a big milestone in every parent's mind, especially in this country, right?
Right.
Where that is the accepted adulthood number. I mean, it's different in Japan. But it's almost like a finish line, and you're like, let me do everything I can to set them up for that point.
Right.
And there's always that self-doubt whispering in your ear. There's always that, like, not competition, but I would say, like, what's that, comparing going on, where you're like, that's what they do. They have 2 kids like me, and that, like, whatever.
Right.
Look left, look right, but really just look down, look at what you're doing, look in the mirror, I think. Because when you're talking about, like, being a parent and then taking pages out of the playbook of your parents, well, I mean, shoot, I was raised by a single parent.
Right.
And so, like, however detailed her playbook is, right? And she has to cover both dad and mom bases kind of thing. Right. I had an older brother who, when I think about it now as an older man, I'm like, I think I looked up to him as somewhat of a father figure.
Right.
But it didn't work because it's only an 18-month age gap. So there was still that kind of, like,
limitation.
Man, I might be able to lick you.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean? Chill. Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, I feel like, the more I learned trying to plan and see some type of future for my kids, most of the time it misses because they're kids, they're going to do their own thing. So I think what me and Olive started to do is be more nurturing to whatever it is that they're interested in. Mm-hmm. And there is still a subtle push, man. Like, for instance, Jada. Yeah. She just got a letter from UCLA, medicine, and she wants to do this trip in the summer. And we were kind of just having this conversation. And I said, UCLA, I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the school I wanted to go to, right? And then without being, vicariously trying to push my life through her, I still was more like, this is what it is. These are the benefits and so on and so forth. And I think I don't want to put too much pressure on them where they feel that they have to fulfill something for us. I want my kids to feel very independent and they're making free will decisions. However, I think the trick is to still create a standard and give them pushback. You know what I mean? You can't just let them run wild. It's just, you got to get creative, man. Because I was raised in the 80s. You get a foot in your ass real quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We 90s, had physical reminders.
Yeah.
There's a lot more leaning away towards that. I think physical reminders that came in the form of belts,
switches,
nearby, yeah,
yeah,
whatever you could grab.